Hello everyone, it's Mr. T here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on when you're watching this video. Just wanted to send this update video after a first week of online learning, just kind of an update on things and also reflection. In this video, I'll talk about Edpuzzle video notes, some changes to that, attendance, practice, grades, questions, feedback, missing assignments, redos, encouragement, kind of all of those things to make sure everybody's clear, kind of just moving forward. Firstly, thank you for your participation this first week. Thank you to those of you who answered the survey, and it's very important that I hear from you because then I can get an understanding of where you're at, how you're doing, how you're transitioning, and how I can serve you. Thank you for your participation, for your continued commitment to learning in the midst of this new normal, for your resilience and pushing through. Proud of y'all, and you all are an encouragement to me. I have two primary goals in this season. The first is to exhibit flexibility, compassion, and understanding. Everyone's home situation is different. Thank you to those of you who have already communicated to me that you need some accommodations. I'm willing to work with you. I don't want to make this super stressful or complex. I want you to be able to kind of work at your own pace. I want to be understanding of everyone's situation. So continue that ongoing communication. My second goal is to make sure you're still able to learn. I don't want this to be kind of a blip in your high school math experience to where you get to calculus, you get to pre-cal, you get to college, and you are struggling because you missed this second semester of Algebra 2. And so that's important to me. So let's just talk some kind of practicals real quick. First, Edpuzzle video. Those just a quick change. The district recently sent out that we only have to do attendance on Tuesdays and Fridays, so that kind of spreads things out a little bit. So for my class particularly, we're not going to worry too much about whether it's an A day or a B day. Just going to have the first Edpuzzle video will be due Tuesday to be watched, okay? The second Edpuzzle video will be due by Friday, okay? So instead of following A, B, we're just going to do the first Edpuzzle video will be due by Tuesday to watch, the second one by Friday, and we'll just do that every week, okay? That gives you also a little bit more time. Now with that, if your other teachers are still doing attendance daily, do follow their own policies. That's just for my class, okay? As you're watching the videos, by the way, do make sure that you are writing down the notes, whether that's you're able to print out the notes and then fill it out. If you're not, that's totally fine. Do it on a sheet of notebook paper. You should be putting those notes in your binder. They are organized by number as they have been, so that's why we're on 40 something. So do make sure you're writing down the notes. They will be important for reference later. And you don't want to have to kind of rewind, look through all the videos. That'll take too long. You want to have physical copy of notes. One change, I'm going to be doing a completion grade for watching the video. That should be easy 100. So at the end of the week on Friday, if you watch both videos in the time, that will be 100. If you watch just one video, that'll be a 50. If you watch no videos, that'll be a 0. Honestly, that should be a grade booster. I think 98% of us watched the Edpuzzle videos for this past week, and thank y'all for doing that. So I'm really not trying to be too complex with grading here. I want to make this easy for y'all in this transition. So there will be a grade for it. First Edpuzzle video due Tuesday. Second Edpuzzle video due Friday, completion grade just if you watch it, and there'll be some embedded questions within that. Kind of some of the feedback I got from the survey was you like that you're able to kind of work at your own pace. You like that you're kind of able to rewind, do it whenever you want. And some of the things I got that we didn't like so much was not being able to kind of work together in our tables, obviously not being able to ask live questions. And so I'm going to talk about some things we can do for that, all right? You could watch the Edpuzzle videos all on Monday. And you could do all the practice on Monday if you're someone who likes to get ahead, and you could submit it, and then your attendance will be marked present for the week, and I'll grade your stuff on Friday. It's totally fine. You can do it at your own pace. I know some of y'all finish everything on Monday, and I will usually post them on Monday, so that's also okay. All right. Practice, still going to do 2 practices a week. It's still going to be due Friday at 4:20. The important thing to note for that is that you are submitting them on Google Classroom. If it is a physical practice, you can totally just write on a sheet of notebook paper, say number 1, and show your work if you're not able to print. And then there will be a quizzes that is also due Friday at 4:20. If in any way you have an extenuating circumstance, like some of you have talked to me about on Remind, let me know. Otherwise, it will be marked absent, as a 0 if you don't turn it in, okay? I will do my best to send the answers to the practice worked out so that you can get feedback on seeing if you got anything wrong, what the answer is, and why. I'll try to send that the following Monday after everyone has submitted their work. So again, if there was a practice, like last week's practice, for example, I have it worked out, I'll send a picture of it the following week so that you can compare your work, so that you can see and learn from, since we don't have in-class kind of feedback. Okay, so that's one thing I'm going to do, but I have to wait till everybody turns in the assignments to do that. So that's something to look out for. So when you finish the practice, don't throw away the paper. Okay. Another thing to note, just in terms of questions and feedback, do continue to contact me on Remind. Some of y'all have just been taking pictures of a practice and then saying, hey, what's my next step or something like that. We'll always respond as fast as I can. And so do make sure that you continue to communicate with me through Remind, through email. Those are the only mediums we have right now, and so it is important that I hear from you, and that we're still able to continue that ongoing conversation because we are not in person. Okay. It is not a bother. Some of y'all send me in like, sorry for another question. It is not a bother. Remember, the fourth goal is ask why. I want you to ask questions. Questions is how you learn. Okay. We are going to have Zoom office hours. Based on the survey, that was a feedback. The majority said they wanted that. And so that's going to be Wednesdays at 2 p.m. You can choose to join, or you don't have to. It's not mandatory, but I encourage you to. So basically, you would just hop on at Wednesday at 2. I'll send the link out. And if you have any questions on a practice, I'll have my iPad, and I'll just be working out the problems as you tell me what problems you need me to go over, or what questions you had about the practice or about the notes. And so that's going to be Wednesdays at 2. If I need to open up another time, I might do that as well. As of now, it's just going to be Wednesdays at 2. And I encourage you, if you do think you might have some questions, to watch both of the videos and try both of the practices before Wednesday at 2, so that way you have know what questions you have that you would like answered. Okay, so that's going to be Wednesday office hours, Wednesdays at 2. Okay. The other thing is redo work and missing assignments. Some of y'all have been asking me about that. Some of you have already sent me emails with what assignments you need, and then I've just kind of emailed you back a document of whatever you're missing, and then you sent me back your work. The 6 weeks does end in 2 weeks. I sent out a calendar on Google Classroom for you to see. It does end in 2 weeks. So if you have any missing assignments from before spring break, if you have any work to redo, then you can still do redos. Just send me a reminder, send me an email, and I will get with you for your specific assignment to make sure you have that in time. So be checking your grade on PowerSchool to make sure that you're able to see where you're at. Okay. So that's just kind of update on some just logistical class stuff. Some of the questions I got in the survey was also just, how are you doing? How are you transitioning to online learning? How's your family doing? So I just want to answer that. I'm personally doing fine, just in general. Trying to maximize this time with family, trying to take walks just to not be bored here in the neighborhood or at somewhere safe where there's not a lot of people. But my son is actually currently sick. Last night, he had a fever of 100 and something, and so we're a little bit worried about that. Not taking him to the doctor yet. He just rested and slept a while, so a little bit nervous about that. I don't think it's like coronavirus or COVID or anything like that, but it's never fun to have him be sick because he can't communicate his needs. So that's a bummer, but hopefully he's going to get better. Online classes, from my perspective, not having a TA is difficult. Usually my TAs, I have 4 of them, would help me grade, and so that's challenging because that's just more time. I'm not enjoying not being able to connect with kids. I'm talking to computer most of the time, and that's difficult. One of the things I love about the job is the fact that I have so many different kids who inspire me, so many different kids who have so many different personalities, who kind of bring life. If I'm having a rough day and I come into class, kids bring me joy. And so I do miss that aspect of connecting with kids. But I'm not as tired as I usually am, so that's a positive from online learning, I guess, because usually as a teacher, you're standing up, teaching, exerting energy all the time. And so now I just make a lesson, post everything, and I'm just kind of not doing as much physical labor, if that makes sense. And so that's a positive. I'm not as tired. So online learning is okay. I'm learning a lot about new technology. And so that's cool. I see how I could use some of these things in the future, even when we do come back to school. So that's currently where I'm at with the online learning and just how I'm doing in general. So thank y'all for asking, for those of you who did. All right. Just wanted to close with just some advice, by the way. If you're stressed, if you're anxious, about kind of what's going on in the news, what's going on in the world, or just with this online learning. Just some encouragement. Take it or leave it from Mr. T. First, I just encourage you to take breaks. Take breaks from news, take breaks from social media, take breaks from schoolwork, sometimes even take breaks from family, right? Take some time for yourself where you're not getting this constant feed of information via feeds or via people or via Google Classroom or just whatever. Like, put your phone to the side and like just take some moment for yourself. I think it's helpful, and it's not as overwhelming when you just get this constant information, this constant just worrying things that can worry you. Just something that might help. I try to do that. Put my phone on silent sometimes. Take care of your body. Physical activity is important, whether that's stretching or deep breaths or meditating or walking or exercising, kind of being creative with how you do that in this time. Every day, me and my wife and son have just been walking down this up and down the street, and it just helps doing that physical activity. I just feel a lot better, and there's obviously scientific proof of that, right? Physical activity is important for your mental kind of stimulation and being able to, you just feel better. And so that's important. Take care of your body. Thirdly, do something you enjoy. Preferably it doesn't include technology, but something, whatever it is that you enjoy, do that during this time where you have hopefully a little bit more time than usual. Talk to people that make you happy, whoever that is, friends, family, FaceTime, Skype, whatever you use. Talk to people who make you happy, and focus on what you can control. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all of the information, and this is really just a new normal for now, and it's kind of crazy. But try to focus on what you can control, because if we get fixated on what we can't control, then that kind of brings us anxiety and stress. And so that would be an encouragement. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Do the best that you can. That's just what I'm telling myself too, because I have a tendency to want to just be a perfectionist, and just with online learning, I can't make it the best that I would like it to be, and that's okay. Just do the best you can. Don't put too much stress on yourself. So, just some encouragement. Just take that with you as you will. Feel free to try some of that, but there's some things that I'm personally trying. So hope that you all are doing good. I'd love to hear from you. Continue the ongoing conversation. Take care. You all are encouragement to me. Thank you for fulfilling the 4 goals in spite of us not being together. Thank you for working hard. And thank you for your continued commitment to learning. All right, y'all. Take care. Bye.